Hello, hello. Thanks for coming in. BJ, see you there. Thanks for coming in, guys. Welcome to Ceramics Friday afternoon. Uh, we're going to make some fun serving bowls for the holidays today. Melissa, thanks for coming in. So, just an example of the sort of stuff we're going to be talking about, thinking about making. I'm going to probably stick with coil building, I think, today. I think earlier in the week I said I might end up doing some slab building on this one, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I can do. This one is totally coil built. Football shaped serving tray. Good for bowl games. And this was also earlier in the week. This idea here, where you have 4 modular serving bowls or trays or whatever you want to call them. They can even be stackable like this, like that. All right, very nice. And then you put them out on your coffee table for the holiday treats. Put your ribbon candy in there, whatever. Make a little cute little 4-pointed star with them, like that. Prior to class, I was doing some research on making a 5-pointed star, and I think I have a template set up now that I can do that. Although I will say it's a huge pain in the ass to make radially symmetrical pentagons / stars. God, a pain in the ass. You're supposed to have like a protractor and a compass, and it needs to be like a real compass. Well, for most of the techniques, it needs to be a real compass that you can like adjust. So, I mean, it was a real pain in the ass. But I think I have something going now that I'm going to try. So we're going to give this a shot and basically do something similar to these, but make it a 5-pointed star. So a little bit more Christmassy maybe because of that. I mean, irregardless of what shape it is, yeah, no, it took all night. All night and into the morning. I think it'll be good. If you want to do research on your own for that, like just Google how to make pentagons or how to make symmetrical 5-pointed stars without a protractor, unless you have a protractor, and then you can just search, and most of the results that come up will be possible for you. But if you don't have that sort of equipment, just search for how to do it without a protractor. And if you can't find anything, send me an email and I'll get you a link to that. Whoa, crud. So yeah. So let's see. Actually, before we even get started with that, we're going to go ahead and make some bacon clay because I don't have enough red clay to do this. So I got to mix it with some white clay that I have. So we're going to go ahead and do that real quick. And so I'm going to move the studio about 5 feet that way. So unhook this, unhook that. Pray to God that it's taken to town. Oh, shit. Still working. I saw it said something about being unstable there. Hopefully we're back. Hopefully everything's working all right. I mean, we're like 3 feet from my router, so theoretically everything should be fine. Okay. So I got red clay here. As you can see, it's not really quite enough red clay to do this project. Then I have some white clay over here. Oh, I gotta get my wires. This white clay is, I think, B-Mix. I don't even know what it is. I think it's B-Mix. And you'll notice I'm just going to work on the concrete here. And once again, this is going to be what they call bacon clay. And it's totally optional. I'm doing it just because I don't have enough red clay, pretty much. So sometimes the impetus for creation is just as simple as that. So the way you make bacon clay is red and white. Go ahead and smack them like that, flip it over, smack it again, cut it in half. Stack it so it alternates. And you do this a couple times until you get it as stripy as you want it to be. There's a lot of different ways to blend multiple types of clay together. This is kind of like the quick and dirty way to do it. But there's there's different techniques that are a lot more refined and that you can have a lot more control with. And you can mix, as far as I can tell, you can mix most kinds of clay together, especially if you're firing in an electrical kiln at the low and mid-fire temperatures. You'll be fine. If you're firing in a gas kiln, there's a lot more considerations to take into consideration. So if you're taking classes with Pamela, if and when they start doing that again, maybe don't do this without consulting with her. But otherwise, if you're at CE Mesa, you can mix literally any two clays together and it'll be fine. Ba, 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 ba. Ba. Okay, maybe do one more. Oh. Got to really slam it down, make sure it sticks. Okay. Connie, thanks for coming in. Okay, one more here. And then we're going to slap this stuff together. So, I mean, just kind of the nature of doing this is that you end up with a pretty, organic looking kind of stratification kind of thing going on. Striation, whatever the geographic or whatever term is, geological term is. But that's fine. I'm happy with this. Happy enough. Okay, we're back. We're wired. Things look good. Yeah, it's a really fun process. Yeah, quick and dirty. Yeah, that's definitely. Yeah, I think the more refined technique is called Narikomi, I want to say. Something like that. I put it in the chat. Don't quote me on that. Search for that and see if that comes up. And then there's also, like, if you've ever done Fimo clay, the weird rod things they make, it's kind of similar. Did I leave my coffee inside? What the hell? Okay, I'll be right back. Okay. So the bin clay, once again, if they ever start doing classes at CE Mesa again, you can mix pretty much any two clays you want to do and, see what happens. If you take classes at ECC, don't do it. Just don't do it. And like I said, I just didn't have red clay, so that was my whole impetus there. Okay, so we're going to do the star thing, or we're going to try. I can send a link out for those of you who want to make the star template kind of thing. The technique that I pursued was there was a technique that basically you could just use the same circle over and over again, but you kind of had this weird Venn diagram thing going on. So I used that because, we've done the circle templates before in class with that cardboard thing. What the hell did I do? We've done, our circle templates with these guys, and these are good. It's just that you can't really adjust to these, right? So you have to find a technique where it allows you to use like the same size circle. Most of the star techniques, you have to have a compass that can be adjusted, like the kind of, those weird stilted compasses. Thankfully, you don't really need the whole star. You just need this section for what we're going to do today. Originally, this section was, when I made it from this, it was this size. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I went right there. So obviously this is way too small to use, but I measured everything and then just multiplied it by 3. And I ended up with this kind of kite-shaped diamond kind of thing. And this is pretty much what I used Wednesday also. But this middle angle here, if you're going to do a star, it needs to be kind of narrow like that so it all comes together. I think the one I used Wednesday, it was shaped more like this because I just eyeballed it. I didn't really even try to do it particularly right. So you can see how the new one is more narrow than the old one. So I think that'll come together. Guess we'll find out. So this shape, let's go ahead and I'll give you the measurements for that so you can do that. Oh yeah, I used the last one. This shape is 6 inches long. Where's my ruler? 6 inches long. So you're going to make a line 6 inches long on your piece of paper. Ignore all this other crap I have on here. Sorry, this is also my last piece of paper. This is David's class of running out of stuff, pretty much. So this form, this is how you make this shape. Do a line that's 6 inches long. Make a mark at 6 and 0, like that. How far down was that? I want to say it was like 2. Yeah. Leave your ruler there. Don't even move it. So from 0, you're going to count 4 inches up, 4 and 1/8. So typically that's just going to be 4 and then the next notch on your ruler. 4 and 1/8. I apologize for the weird measurements, but it seems like for this technique it's unavoidable. So you're going to have a line, you make a long line, you make a mark at 0, you make a mark at 6, you make a mark at 4 and 1/8. You can, once again, you search for how to make the stars, and then you can do more of like what you want to do. But this is how I was able to do it. So that 4 and 1/8 mark, you're going to now draw a line that goes through that, and try to make it 90 degrees. As much as possible. I've just been eyeballing it, but if you have a T-square or something like that, that's good. And this line that bisects it is 3 inches long. So there's 1.5 on one side and 1.5 on the other side. But that's 3 inches across there, and you make marks there. Scribble, 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 scribble. So 0, 4 and 1/8, and then this line bisects it, 3 inches long, 1.5 on either side, and then from here to here, that was that 6 inch mark there. So now from the 6 inch, you're going to do this, and you end up with like a kite kind of shape. You're going to connect these various points. There's half of it. And then you're going to do these ones. And this is 1/5 of the star. So I'll send you a link for the tutorial that I followed on how to do this. But the tutorial I followed, you might not even have to do it that way, because if you have access to a compass and a protractor, like a real compass and a protractor, you can do it the easier kind of ways. So I would say that, if you have those things, just search it and do what they say. But I'll send you a link to the way that I did it. Then you cut this out, and this is going to be the base. You're going to make 5 of these, and they should come together to make a star, more or less. And, cutting these out, just cut them out pretty much. I don't know, maybe we could do leather hard still, or something kind of like leather hard. I don't know, maybe we could. Okay. So let's go ahead and get that baking clay out, roll out some slabs, and start doing this. Okay, let's see. We'll just use like half of this for now. Okay, paint mixing sticks for thickness. Let's see, roll this puppy out. So, one thing about the bacon clay is you want to see maybe like 2/3 white clay to 1/3 red clay ratios. If you do half and half, and I think my mixture was pretty much half and half, you get a lot of, maybe the red can become a little bit more overpowering and kind of take over. This isn't too bad actually, but that is something I've kind of noticed, that maybe with the baking clay, think about using more white than red. But you might like the more red look, so that's fine too. But the red clay, you know how it stains things. Maybe by now you kind of noticed, and it'll stain the white clay next to it. So it's just my suggestion there. It's funky. All right. So decide which kind of side you like more and put that face down. And then this, the side that is you've decided is less aesthetic than the other side, go ahead and compress the surface. And honestly, maybe you don't have to compress it, but my clay, since I have some dry clay, some wet clay, it's all recycled. I got to compress this pretty much. I don't really have an option. But the reason you want to put the nice side face down is because the compressing process, as you can probably tell, it kind of, destroys the aesthetics of your stratification, your surface. Groovy. Okay, so we're going to come back, look at this shape here. Okay, I think I'm going to try to do slab. I think I have enough leftover paper somewhere I can do slab. So something I'm going to do here, this template for my stars, the pointed end here, you can do some pointed stuff, but this is too attenuated. So we're going to go ahead and cut like a 1/2 inch back off of that. So I'm just going to fold this shape in half on that line as much as possible. Okay, well, if you screw that up, don't worry about it, just eyeball it. I was going to try to fold it in half and do it all symmetrical, but I kind of folded so it was off that line. So basically here, let's see, 6 inches, right? Let's go ahead and take a 1/2 inch off that really pointed, attenuated part of the triangle. Make a mark there like that. And just cut. Just cut it. Okay. We can maybe do some stuff on that edge after we get it assembled to give it a little bit more point there. But I just think that with the slabs, it's going to be weird trying to do that. So I'm just cutting it off now. Okay, let's see if I can get that stuck down. And we're going to cut out 5 of these. 1 coming up. One. I think it's gonna work. I hope it's gonna work. I think it'll work. I'm feeling kind of optimistic here. Three. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four, five. Okay, very cool. And similar to when we cut out those hexagon sections for our leather hard project a couple weeks ago, try to set up these shapes so that they share a side. They're like butted right up next to each other so that they share a single line. And that way, when you cut them out, it goes twice as fast. And also, you don't have to worry about removing the negative shapes and damaging your positive shapes. Okay, let's see how these turn out. The leftover sections of slab, you can, if they're big enough, definitely hold on to them. You can probably, you can probably still wedge this sort of stuff and get a striated look, but more than maybe two, maybe three times, it's become just like one mono kind of one color thing. So there's a limit to how much you can smash that together, unfortunately. Eventually it will become just red clay or pink clay in the pink clay family. But actually that's, the clay I've been using in my recycle bucket is basically this, just more mixed together. Some red clay, some B mix, some Bruce's white. I've been calling it the house mix. kind of a cool shape on its own. Okay, now see if you can carefully separate these. The other side should still be, looking all right. It might be a little bit mucked up, but you don't really have to worry too much about that because you do have the opportunity with these to clean them up once they're dry. Come on, baby. And try to be gentle when you're pulling these apart so you don't change the shape of them. Come on, what the hell? Work with me a little bit here, Clay. All right. Well, here's the moment of truth. Let's see if this thing comes together and looks remotely like a star. Okay, 1, 2, trace, 4. Pretty damn close. I mean, that's closer than I had before. It's like they still need to be a little bit more narrow. Okay. Pretty damn close. I wonder if I just take a touch off. Maybe I can get that a little bit more narrow and then all 5 of them will fit. I wonder how possible that is. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to take just a little tiny bit off, and then I'm going to retrim the shapes, and we'll see where we're at. Okay, let's see how this does. Gonna flip them over, trim my A little bit off. This might be one of those things where changing this shape even slightly ruins it and it can't go back together at all. So we'll see. All things are still on the table. All possibilities are still there. All right, thanks for bearing with me, guys. This, kind of an experiment, this process here. Getting the star shape. The four-pointed star, not too bad. Pretty doable. You can kind of just eyeball it. This five-pointed star, it's been giving me trouble, so I'm still kind of trying to figure it out. Okay, so let's see now if there's any more extra room. Does it seem like that's making any more room? It's hard to tell. Trimming just a little bit off. Well, so this also means that the measurements I gave you at the beginning of class might not be right. Might not. By might not, I mean aren't. By might not be right, I mean are not right. Yeah, I mean it is a little bit better. I got to do this one still. We'll see where we're at. Just trimming a little bit off to get this fifth one to fit. All right. Well, it's not 100% perfect, but it's better than it was actually. It's pretty darn close. Comes together pretty well in there. Well enough that I think we can just kind of, get away with it. So that does mean though that this line here in the middle is not 3 inches. It's like 2 7/8. Yeah. So I think originally I had you doing that cross line, 3 inches. But it looks like 2 7/8 is the better measurement to get these to fit a little bit better. Although even that's not 100% perfect, so it might be something crazy like 2 15/16 or something. I guess it'd be 13/16. Cool. Well, I'm going to go ahead and grab some coffee real quick, and then we're going to get started on the next process. We're going to make some slab walls for, Peggy, you can kind of eyeball it, Peggy. I did that Wednesday, and I got a 4-pointed star pretty well. Not too bad. But the 5-pointed one, it seems like it's harder to eyeball that. Basically, this kite shape is 6 inches long. 6 inches long. The crossing section here, that is 4 1/8 inches from the bottom. 4 1/8. I really apologize for the goofy measurements, guys. It seems like that's just part of that making a 5-pointed thing, is you end up with goofy measurements. 4 1/8 from the bottom to the middle point. And then this cross section here, 2 7/8 across. So that's just a little bit under 3 inches across. Just a little bit under 3. And then this corner down here, I cut that off just because slab building that fine of a point, I don't think I cut that off. Okay. I mean, the other thing you could do is just draw a big star on a big slab, roll out a real big slab, draw a star on it like that. And then you could probably just, cut it up into sections as you see fit. So it's, maybe it won't be like geometrically perfect each one, but it would still come together to make a star. So that's something you could do, I think. So if we want to make walls for sections like these, you can figure that this wall and this wall, that's the same length. That's the same length. This wall and this wall, that's the same length. So we'll need 2 different wall sections, one for the top of the kite and one for the bottom of the kite. And those two wall sections will have the same height. So whatever we want, maybe like 2 inches, 2.5. These, snack trays, they don't tend to be pretty deep. So, probably like 2.5 inches is good. All right. Your guess is as good as mine, to be honest with you. It's crazy. Like the hexagons, not too bad. The template for making those, it's a little bit weird, but you can kind of get it going. Man, the pentagons and 5-pointed stars, though. Jesus Christ. Who came up with that crap? The Satanists, that's it. The 5-pointed all hail Satan star. Okay, so like I said, we're going to need 2 different wall sections. I'm going to use this paper here to do it. Let's see how long this is, right? That looks like 2 inches, 2 3/8. Jesus. 2 3/8. I swear if I could really avoid any sort of weird fractions, I totally would, guys. So I apologize for all these weird measurements. 2 3/8. 2 inches tall. Yeah, I think 2 inches is good. I think 2 inches of height for these walls is a good measurement. 2 inches. Haters gonna hate, but I think 2 is good. Haters gonna hate, but they don't have that Christmas spirit. Haters gonna hate. Dun, 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 dun. Two inches tall. Just eyeballing a square here. And this is something optional to think about here. The walls, having them squared, that's fine. You'll have like it'll still be a star. It'll come up straight. Each section will come together and that'll be fine. I think you could put a little bit of flair onto the edges of these walls, though. Not edges, onto the angles of these walls so they kind of come out a little bit. I think we could do that. We might be needlessly complicating things, but that's never stopped me before, right? You may recall from the butter dish template, the way we did that sort of thing is basically you make the square first, and then once again you could use that, or you could add a little bit of a flare on either end here and here, and then that way when these walls all come together, they'll have a little bit of extra length on top, so they'll have a little bit of an angle to them. Wow, Haitian Creoles on here. Okay, so that's one side, or two sides. Two sides, rather. And the longer side of the kite shape here is 3 3/4, it looks like. 3 3/4. If you had left the point, it would be 4. But I didn't leave the point, remember. I took the point off because I didn't have the stones to go for it, as they say. As they say if they're trying to get fired. David didn't have the stones to do it. 3 3/4. Same height, 2 inches. Same height, 2 inches. Relay 2. Same height on this wall as the other walls. 2 inches. 2 inches. And I'm just eyeballing these to make them square because I haven't learned my lesson yet about that. Okay, same thing. I'm going to give them a 1/4 inch on each side up here just to give them a little bit of flair. Cool. It's going to be fun. Okay, we got our 5 kite shapes. We got our 2 wall shapes. Let's roll out another slab, cut out 2 of each of these, and then start assembling. So that'll be 10 altogether, I guess, of each shape, because each one of the kites gets 2. 1, 2, and then 1, 2. So, yeah, that's 10 of each shape. I mean, there's a lot of shapes, but they're small, so it's doable, I think. I think they're small enough that it's doable. Set these over here. don't think it'll take that much clay even, since they're all kind of small. Something like that. Yeah, I'll send a link out, Peggy, for the technique that I pursued when I was making the star tablet. Because it's super complicated, to say the least. Although if you have, once again, if you have access to a protractor and a compass, it seems to be a little bit more friendly. That bacon clay. That bacon clay. Same thing we did before. Decide which face you like more, which side of the slab, and then flip it over. Put the nice side face down. And then compress the ugly side, or less attractive. Aesthetically challenged side. Cool. Okay, let's go ahead and do it to it. Just see how many of these I can get on this slab. Probably enough to like maybe do 2 stars. Or 2 triangles, I mean, not stars. Triangles, kites. Kite rhombuses? Is that what those shapes are called? Rhombuses? Rhomboids? Damn rhomboids. Okay, let's go ahead. It's going to be tight. I wonder if I can get 2 on here. It's going to be tight. will it fit? Yeah, good enough. Close, pretty damn close. I didn't trust that. I didn't trust that for a reason. A parallelogram with opposite, equal, acute angles. Oh, well, I guess it's not a rhombus then, is it? Because those aren't the same. Those angles aren't the same. Pretty close, though. Opposite, equal, obtuse angles. Yeah, two of the angles are equal, but the other two aren't. So, yeah, it's not a rhombus. It's just a kite. It's just a wannabe kite. I guess that's all rhombuses are, is wannabe kites. I guess that wasn't her. two, 1 2 1 2. Okay. Looks like I need to put these in the bag. Okay, these shapes, we're gonna bevel all the edges. If you recall the leather hard project, that's basically we're gonna do all that stuff now. So part of the reason why I cut the tip off there is that you can kind of see the clay, since it has its own thickness, right, 1/4 of an inch, the triangle, once it gets more narrow, there's like, I don't know that there's a good way to go about doing that. So cutting off the pointy tip I would recommend it. I don't know that it's 100% required. Like maybe you can kind of do some finagling with beveling to get away with that or something. But yeah, 2 inches is actually kind of tall. Maybe like 1.5 would be better. Oh well, live and learn. So yeah, just go ahead and bevel. Let's see. These will have yeah, there's going to be a lot of different kind of beveling kind of angles here. So like the tighter triangle-y point here, that's going to need a more extreme bevel. But these shoulders of the kite, or whatever you would call that, that's going to be a pretty loose bevel, a pretty light bevel. So yeah, whole lot of crap going on here. So these pieces are not leather hard. I'm kind of following the leather hard protocol. These pieces aren't really leather hard though. They're stiffer than plastic, like super wet. So if you're using fresh clay, you're still going to have to let these stiffen up for maybe half an hour, or maybe even a little bit longer. But I think it's advisable, for at least for me right now, to do this when the pieces are a little bit pliable still, just because that way I can still kind of finagle things around and maybe correct things as I need to. Maybe after I've done like 1 or 2 of these, maybe I would work a little bit more leather hard. And the leather hard, it lets you put textures and stuff like that in the clay if you want. So that way you can do that. Okay. So bevel. Bevel, just cutting the corner off the clay. Once again. Cutting the corner off the clay so that as much as possible you can have connection points like that, connection joints, whatever that term is. Yeah, maybe the corner, maybe we don't bevel that, and then maybe we just put a coil there or something, and then we can kind of round that out. Let's do that. I think that would. So this side here I won't bevel. Bevel, bevel, bevel. Okay, cool. So I think we can go ahead, score these, slip these, and then assemble them. See how we do here. They're like little coffins, little Christmas coffins. Damn. I guess that end needs its own little shape, doesn't it? All right, well, we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that. Don't you worry. Okay, so go ahead and score all the beveled sides now. And I guess if we got to do that, that means we probably will go ahead and bevel the. Maybe not actually. We'll see. No, we can score that now. Okay. So I'm thinking the tip, what we'll do is use just plain white clay. And then that way, like the tip of the stars will have like a little white kind of section. And that might look nice, and it'll almost be like we did it on purpose. Get a little bit of slip here. Okay. So you got to be a little bit careful here when you're trying to build with these slightly damp slabs like this, because they don't necessarily have much strength. They're not really particularly suited for this kind of building. So you got to be a little bit gentle. Like I said, ideally we can do this leather hard, but just because there's so much kind of goofiness with my template and figuring it out and stuff, I think it'll be good to kind of have some wiggle room with the soft clay. So everything has advantages and disadvantages. That's weird. It doesn't really come together down there, huh? Cool. Yeah, these could be a lot shorter. Yeah. Take like 3/4 of an inch off the other ones. Cool. That's not too bad. So this end down here, I'm thinking we put a white bit of clay there, and then it gives the star like, I don't know. It'll be interesting. It might look all right. It'll be like it has like a little glowing white tip or something. Make sure these sides are joined. Otherwise, just kind of bring them together. Make sure they're all come together. The bacon clay, it's a little bit like textured clay, and you're trying to smush it as little as possible. Trying to find the delicate balance between smushing it together and also not messing up the aesthetics of it. So not bad. So let's go ahead and alter our template a little bit, because I don't think these walls need to be that high. I think they would look better if they were a bit shorter. Like, I'm going to take 3/4 of an inch off. Because they don't need to be that deep. And this one that we've done, we can trim that back once we're further along in the process. So it's still fine. So I'm taking 3/4 off the top of these two shapes. Three-quarters. 75% of an inch. Yeah, that's going to look better, I think. I mean, there'll be less, room for snacks, I guess, but I don't think these usually have like walls that deep, Hey, no problem there, guys. Thank you, Peggy. No problem. BJ. Very good. Plus, this slightly smaller size means I can get more shapes onto a slab. So this is good news all around. Zip, zip. Zip. Hey, Joanna, how you doing? We're making trying the stars again. Yeah, I'm trying to make a 5-point one. It's on that right side there. Yeah. Oh yeah. Take your time. You can look around. Yeah.
Is the supply getting smaller and smaller?
Not for a while. That's pretty. I've had that much for a while now. So yeah, and I think the last time they let me on campus was like back in September, I think, or something like that. It was quite a while ago.
Well, if you ever want people to come help you and they tell you you can unload stuff, give a call.
Oh yeah, for sure. They don't. The thing is, they won't let students in that building, so it's ridiculous. I mean, if it was up to me, it'd be totally different, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Try to see if I recognize anybody else.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. That's fine. Take your time.
It's been so long.
Yeah, I know, right?
I get to see your pieces for real and they're good.
Yeah.
This is where you've been looking for.
Well, I've tried to go back and you were in the Wednesday class, right? So this time I'm trying to make it an actual 5-pointed star from the get-go. So, yeah, I did.
Your angles, huh?
Yeah, well, I had to look up this whole template process. It was a real pain.
Making you do that geometry.
Yeah. It's been a real pain. I spent all morning on it.
That's good. These are higher walls than the one from yesterday.
Yeah, well, I'm taking it down. I'm going to do this one a little bit more.
A little bit. Right?
Yeah. So I'm going to take it down to a little bit shorter.
Nice. It'll be great when you have them all finished.
Yeah, I think it'll be all right.
I just got to start working at home.
All right, yeah, take your time, look around. Okay, so going to bevel this next kite-shaped segment of the star tray. Take it easy, Joanna. Thanks for coming in. Have a good weekend. All right, beveling the next thing. We don't bevel that side. Okay, so we can do 3 of these walls, and I think that'll be enough to make them stick together. And then we can roll out another slab, probably get the rest of our shapes on there with these newer, smaller shapes. And yeah. Oh yeah, this height looks a lot better. This is a lot more like a tray kind of height, I think, here. Taking that 3/4 of an inch off. Okay, so I got to get one more side there, but yeah, that's looking good. And I can even use this to kind of plan where I need to trim on this guy too. Try not to get that on the canvas. Kind of starting to look like it might work out. Yeah, kind of starting to look like it. Okay, unfortunately, we got to roll out some more slab. Let's get that back up. Okay, choose which surface you like, flip it over, compress the unpretty side. Okay. And yeah, let's go ahead and start knocking these out. I guess I don't really need to remove that, do I? Okay. Okay, that should take care of all the big trapezoids that we need. I guess that area is lost. Okay, we got most of our trapezoids on here. We got all the long ones. What the heck? A leaf in the clay or something? Okay, cutting out the kind of meta shape here. right, cool. Let's see. We'll put the one of the long guys on here first. Bevel. Light bevel. Normal bevel. Okay, we got another little Christmas coffin almost done here. Little Christmas coffins. All right. Caps. Okay, number 3, tacking it together. Number 4. All right, coming along. It's coming along. Number 4, our fourth Christmas coffin. Oh, try not to bend them. Okay, one more. We've made it this far. I can't believe it. We back? Is everything working all right? Someone confirm in the chat. I got like a weird message on here that says I got disconnected. Someone confirm. Let me know. Very good. If it's working, all right. Thank you. Very cool. Yeah, I asked her if she wanted me to say anything about that, Melissa, and she did not respond. But yeah, you guys, even if you're not in it and you want to go see the process happen, go for it. I mean, yes, that is appropriate. Christ. Okay, so let's see here. I got to get one more little trapezoid rolled out. One more little trapezoid. Un poco más. Okay, so we'll get this on there. We got to make our little white tips, and yeah, I don't know. It's coming together all right. I think things are gonna be good here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we make the tips for each of them. Just kind of lay these out and see what they look like, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oop, whoop, careful. Careful. Don't break it. Okay. Let's see, I broke this one. There we go. Yeah, I mean, pretty darn close here. Get it in there. Maybe if we dry them together so it's really tight. So we got to put the little tips on all the corners now. That area. And basically, I think what I'm going to do here is just roll out a white slab. And then each one of these tips, going to put it on there, trace. It'll be like a trapezoid triangle looking thing. And then we'll put it on. And we'll go from there. But yeah, that looks, pretty all right. Could be worse. Oh, God damn it. Stop tearing that one. Jesus Christ. Every time my hand gets within 6 inches of that one, just like, rip. Got a mind of my own. I'm taking this thing out. Okay, I'm going to run in and get some coffee. And then we'll knock these out. I mean, the 5-point star, it's definitely more Christmassy than the 4-point star. It's undeniable. I don't think the 4-point star is related to any holiday, right? God damn it, I did it again. Christ. Okay. I'll be back. Well, take your time more than I did, Connie. There's nothing good that comes from doing ceramic stuff quickly. Well, that's not really true, but for the most part, just take your time. I kind of rushed a little bit. I don't know. These shapes are so weird that doing them when they're a little bit soft, I think, is kind of a good idea because you can kind of bend some things and force some things and stuff. But yeah, I've done this differently each day. So this week, the first day I just did this kind of divided bowl. This is coil built. And then the wall is coil built in there too. So this is, if you want to do a divided bowl, but you don't want to do this dumb shit, do this. Okay, let's see. Roll out the slab of white clay now. And we'll see what we got here, huh? Okay, this one I keep breaking. Sorry, bro. Sorry, Clay, bro. Okay, gonna go get some white clay. BJ, thanks for coming in. Have a good weekend. Stay out of trouble, etc. Well, let's see what this looks like first. Okay, so this was the first one. I trimmed it, and Jesus Christ, what did I do there? It's like shit. Okay, I'm just going to paddle all my joints real quick just to get it stuck together a little bit better. This one's pretty stiff now. This first one, it's pretty much leather hard now. So just paddling on either side of each joint of the kite. Okay, so this shape here, it'll be kind of like a little bit triangular, but basically just a rectangle. And might as well just score it while I'm holding in here. Let's see. And you know what you could do here just to make this easier on yourself actually is see how it has kind of like a not totally flat side yet. Go ahead and just trim that so it's flat. So if you have a big knife, that's ideal. I don't have a big knife, unfortunately. I just have this. Well, straighten it out, but don't make it worse in the process. Okay. Cool. Okay. Trace. Lay trace. Lay trace. So it's basically like a rectangle kind of shape. just like a slightly trapezoidal rectangle. I don't know, really. I should just stop using these geometric terms. He keeps saying stuff in geometry that doesn't make sense. Score, slip. Okay. Paddle it down. Take it easy, Connie. Thanks for coming in. Trim off any excess so it's kind of more shapely and stuff like that. But yeah. And if you get a little bit of red on that, it's all right. You can, once these are dry, you can sand them lightly and take the kind of red fog off the surface, the red mist. Yeah, that was kind of cool. It's not like, not horrible. It could be worse. 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 Oh, yeah. So go ahead and paddle each one of these before you put the white thing on. Paddles, I just have my paint mixing stick. You can use pretty much anything to paddle with. It's like disciplining children. The sky's the limit. Mm-mm-mm. 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 So yeah, just placing it on, trimming off the excess. Not too complicated. Okay, don't want to keep breaking. Oh, hold off. All that. God damn. Bang that one every time. You can't even stack them, can you? Well, gotta make sure you kind of tap those on before you move. Before you move away. Okay. Okay, so we got one more coming up here. Yeah, these white tips, I mean, I think they could look, all right once the piece is like refined and trimmed and all that sort of stuff. It could be all right. I mean, at the very least, the lesson there is when you have these screw ups, there's not really screw ups per se in art making and stuff like that. It really depends on what you do next. So a lot of the times with these screw up kind of things, if you just double down on them, it'll look like you did it on purpose. So for instance, with these tips, what I mean by that is by doubling down on them, by like putting white on there and drawing attention to them, it's almost like it looks like you did it on purpose. Um, you know, that's just like there's like a interview with Miles Davis in the '80s where they ask him about like playing the wrong note or something like that, and he's like, it's like '80s Miles Davis, so his voice is all like, but like he's just like you can't really play a wrong note. It's kind of like what you do after it, and that's true. I mean, that's definitely true. I read that in the Quincy Thorpe ghostwritten autobiography. So it's true. Yeah, it doesn't come together perfectly, which frankly fucking enrages me, but it could be worse. I apologize. Freaking enrages me. Okay, we got one more here. I mean, the interview I'm talking about, if you search for it on YouTube, I bet it comes up. Just like Miles Davis 80s interviews. I don't know. It's the right interview because the whole time he's kind of like ignoring the guy and he has like this pad of paper that he's just scribbling on the whole time. Like towards the end of his life, he got into doing these ballpoint pen drawings. And yes, I'm talking about the trumpet player. But that's if he's doing that, it's the right interview. It's a pretty good interview. I mean, it's hilarious the way he just like you can just tell he hates the interviewer and he's just like barely answering any questions and ignoring him and stuff like that. And even when the guy asks him about playing wrong notes, Miles Davis, he kind of like looks up from his pad, like, what are you even talking about? Like, you can tell like the idea of playing a wrong note hasn't really occurred to him in at least like 15 years. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, and his hatred for the media is frankly absolutely based. Way ahead of his time on that. Okay. Take a look at this puppy. So they don't stack. They don't flare enough that they stack. Like if these walls were more flared, you could stack these. And unfortunately, they're just like a hair too narrow to do that. So if I did these again, I would flare them more so that they would maybe stack. Well, there's a lot of things I would do different, frankly, but that's maybe one of them, one of several. And yeah. I mean, they need to be refined. They need to stiffen up a little bit and then get the coils in the joints and stuff like that. Trying to get this thing over there. You see that? There we go. And we got a couple of minutes to spare too, so that's good. We have like 2 or 3 classes before Christmas break. So we'll probably try to get in like a presentation before Christmas break, see what you guys are working on, see how if you go take part in the pit firing, those of you who are in that Wednesday night class, you can show us how that stuff turns out. Send me any requests you got before the before too long, because the semester's wrapping up quick. I'll send a link out to the Pentagon making template thing that I tried to follow. But if you search for it on your own, if you have a protractor and a compass, there's a lot of better ways to do it than what I had to do. But once again, I don't have either one of those things. So the way that I had to go about it was pretty janky, geometrically janky. All right. It doesn't seem like anyone's got any questions or anything. Everyone's pretty happy about stuff. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming in. I appreciate your continued patronage of the class. And I'll see you in a week. Sayonara.